It was 11 o'clock in the morning. A railway maintenance worker was walking along the tracks doing a job he had done hundreds of times before. The sun was high, the air was still. Nothing seemed unusual, nothing suspicious, until he saw something that made him stop breathing. Lying near the rails were human bones. At first, police believed it was a tragic accident. Perhaps someone had fallen from a passing train, but as they searched the surrounding area, they found more remains. Then more, and then many more. This wasn't an accident. This was a hunting ground. And somewhere out there, a monster was using Egypt's railway system as his personal graveyard. They would later give him a name, Al-Turbini, the railway monster. Forensics revealed a horrifying pattern. All the victims were boys, all between 11 and 13 years old. And all of them had endured unimaginable suffering before their lives were cut short. Most had been thrown from moving trains. When police tried to identify them, they ran into a deeply disturbing problem. No one was looking for these children. There were no missing persons reports filed, no frantic families searching, no headlines in the papers. It was as if they had never existed. Why? Because they were street children. Kids who lived in stations, tunnels, and abandoned buildings. Kids that society had already forgotten, and the killer knew this. He knew these children could disappear from the face of the earth without anyone even noticing. The police began questioning other street kids around the stations. Most were too scared to talk, their eyes filled with a terror they couldn't voice. Until one boy finally broke down. He whispered, "My friend didn't run away. He was taken by the gang." That one whisper was the first crack in the wall of silence. Not long after, police arrested a young gang member known on the streets as Baka. He was terrified, shaking uncontrollably in the interrogation room. He finally looked at the detective and said, "I'll talk, but you have to protect me from him." From him. That man was Ramadan Abdel Rahim. But on the streets, he was better known as Al-Turbini. Baka's confession painted a picture of a nightmare. Al-Turbini ran a brutal gang that controlled several major railway stations. They targeted young boys, especially those around the age of 12. They would rob them of what little they had, and then drag them to the tops of moving trains. What happened next was a horror beyond words. And when he was done, he wouldn't just let them go. He would wait for another train, speeding in the opposite direction, and throw them directly into its path. Baka then revealed something that made the investigators' blood run cold. The bodies the police had found, they were only a small part of the truth. Many others were dumped into abandoned wells, forgotten sewers, and massive water tanks, hidden forever. But how does a person become a monster like this? The investigation dug into Al-Turbini's past and uncovered a story of profound darkness. Ramadan was born into extreme poverty and began working in train stations as a young child just to survive. When he was 12 years old, he was cornered by an older bully known as Abdo. The man attacked him, abused him, and left him for dead on the tracks. Ramadan survived, but he was never the same. He suffered permanent injuries, both physical and mental, that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He went to the police and reported his attacker, but the case was dismissed. No evidence, they said, no justice. That day, something inside Ramadan died, and something else was born. In a twisted act of vengeance, he took his abuser's nickname for himself, Al-Turbini. and he decided that the world would feel his pain. He specifically targeted boys who were 12 years old, the same age he was when his own life was destroyed. Over time, Al-Turbini became more violent, more reckless. His cruelty knew no bounds, and he even turned against his own gang. When he discovered that his right-hand man, Al-Swaysi, had betrayed him, he marked him for death without a second thought. In 2005, a glimmer of hope appeared when one of his victims managed to escape and went straight to the police. But once again, the system failed. No physical evidence. And once again, Al-Turbini walked free. His revenge was swift and brutal. He ordered his gang to hunt the boy down. The boy was found, and he was never seen again. In his final days of freedom, Al-Turbini no longer needed a reason to kill. His rage was indiscriminate. The skeleton discovered at the beginning of this story, it belonged to a child who was simply sleeping in a railway tunnel. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Al-Turbini crushed his skull with a rock simply because he felt like it. When the gang was finally captured, Al-Turbini confessed to everything. He admitted to killing more than 30 children, recounting the details with no regret, no emotion, nothing. The trial shocked the entire country. The public listened in horror as the full extent of his depravity was laid bare. And in the end, the judge delivered the only possible verdict: death by hanging for Al-Turbini and his top lieutenants. This case remains one of the most disturbing serial crimes in modern history, classified globally for its sheer horror. But the real tragedy is this: if these children had homes, if they had protection, if someone in society had cared enough to see them, this monster might have never found them in the first place. They were invisible in life, and for too long, they were invisible in death. Thank you for watching.